I always love music. Everybody knows that. Another new backbeat. Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to Night Talk. It is 10:18, and we'll be on no later. I say that. I'll just say I'm planning on no later than 11 o'clock. Okay. Shout out to the mob, all my other bears, like all the grizzlies and the honey bears. So, how's everyone tonight? As I try to get situated here. No Gatorade tonight, just water. Water and I guess a lot of ice. Mhm. So, it appears that the Senate Democrats have voted with the Republicans tonight to approve a funding measure to reopen the federal government. And in this very, very longest shutdown in U.S. history. So the bill must now go to the House for approval before it is sent to President Donald Trump's desk to be signed. All right. So at least you know that. And maybe everything will be open. Yeah. Yeah. Please remember to hit the like on your way into the bear cave. And I see a few of you already who have come in. So what do you want to talk about tonight? Gotta get back to analyze this mess. Because there's a lot that can be analyzed. Yes. Just kind of waiting to, I think, get beyond this next phase, I guess, or, figure out where it's going. Yeah. All answers, no countdown clocks just yet. Although I could put one up. Yeah. So I caught a little bit of I think it was today. Cups was on with Maggie. Was that what it was? Like an interview? Again, when I saw it, I clicked on, I had to listen to a little bit of it because I figured she would be talking about, things that happened in the past. Yeah. And actually, for those of you who know, that I don't even know if we can call it an era. It's been, a few years back, 4 years. But those of us who were around, we remember some things. And I think what's important to know is, so I might have some information, someone else has information, and if we could just, pull it all together, maybe the picture might become a lot clearer. Yeah. So, I think one of the things that she said that was true is if someone, comes into the chat and if you put their name up on the screen, that later Later, if you see that avatar change or, come in, and it will tell the clue, tell the story. And people were doing that and people got caught. Yeah, she mentioned she really, that's what happened. And it did happen because I saw the results of it. Yeah. And then a person tries to deny that it was them or talk around it, but then, the evidence of them being a troll. Yeah, it happened. Yeah. Was it Linda Milken? Yeah. hmm And you know who else? Well, I guess it would be, going back through those videos and then if you know like the URL, yeah, because or the channel handle, the name of the channel can change, but the URL doesn't if they don't delete that channel. That's another way of finding out. Mhm. I wish I had the URL to that Tammy the Machine Robertson channel. And you know what? I really think I've concluded who that is, who that was behind that. hmm Maybe two people only. Yeah. Because who was it I was looking through? Yeah, the other day. And you know how my um, channel name will come up like highlighted in yellow or gold or whatever it is? Mhm. Looking back at some of the old footage, that Tammy the Machine Robertson, when the person was showing that, it was in the yellow or the gold. So that would represent a content creator. I think that's typically what it means. Yeah. So someone who was showing that as a video and talking about it, it was that color. Mhm. Yeah. We just didn't know a lot then, like we know now. hmm Yeah. And then all you have to think about is who would be motivated in anything that happens to you on the platform that would actually be able to, like at least narrow the guess, or narrow the possibility. Maybe I should say it like that. Narrow the possibility of who it might be. Yeah. hmm And yes, I do agree. There are at least two people who were involved. Yeah. In 2021, behind that avatar, there would have to be because they declared that there were layers put into place so that they would not be found out. That means someone is cooperating with them, someone who knows them put that into place. Either that's the case or that was a smokescreen. But I certainly believe there were multiple people who knew about each other. Yeah. And yeah, there was just too much coincidence, movement of people. Yeah. So I believe that. Yeah, I believe what I heard tonight or earlier, I guess it was earlier, that um, there was an individual, several, but that came as a troll. Yeah, they did. And um, the names that were called out, that's that was true. They were they were targeted. There were videos. Um, but who is the person? What's her name? Evie. But now I'm trying to think of her other name. Let's see. She's been around for a while. Anyway, that Judge Evie person. Tell me, what was her name? For some reason, it slips my mind. SC? Okay. Yvette, dear Yvette. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So it is true that Black Rabbit created at least a couple of videos early on about her. I never really understood that part, why she made videos on her. But I wasn't paying attention to that part or what would have been said that she made early videos on her. I know I have two of them. They were short videos, and she yeah, but I don't know why. Yeah, I think those videos came out like either February, March of 2021. So I can confirm that part with videos. Yeah. And who else was mentioned? Yeah, Tails. Well, yeah, Tails. Tails struck me initially, but that had nothing to do with Black Rabbit. Although she contacted me by email and asked me if she could help me or do anything with the strikes. Yeah, I remember that. I still have that email. So she reached out to me first, and she reached out to me about that. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, if I go back to that email, she apparently knew about Tails, at least some personal information about her. I can confirm that. So that means she was researching. She said she was a researcher. And so, yeah, she had information about her. And let's see. I definitely remember that. And why she would have targeted Tails, it would be true. It's true. It because of that, whatever you want to call it, the woman in Jamaica. Yeah. That flight attendant. And Tails created a video, and her and Jane, they were going back and forth. Yeah, I remember that. But again, I didn't put that together at the time. But it's true. That part was true. Um, and there were, um, was it on Instagram? Instagram, there are some receipts where that's her name, Kalina Collier or something like that. There were pages created. And what else? So that part is true. I do wonder now how did Jane and Black Rabbit get together? Who was? I see Cubs in the chat. So did Black Rabbit become a moderator of yours? When was that? In late 2020 when she became a moderator? Because she was around. And so at the beginning. So that would have been before she had her YouTube channel? Because didn't she start her YouTube channel in February? I think it was. All right. Yeah, she was Mac's student. That's true. I can confirm that. That's true. Yeah, she had a lot of different handles. She was First Gems. That's true. I can confirm that. It's true. Mm-hmm. She had definitely one with the rabbit name in it. It's true. Because when Tails was talking about Kalina Collier, Black Rabbit was in her chat and she was asking her questions. Yeah, and Jane was there too. Yes, that is true. I can confirm it. That is true. But she was a troll account. So she was trolling. I'm not going to make this up. I've got receipts. Black Rabbit trolled Tails. She trolled Nosy Whole Life. That's facts. I have receipts. I have her showing up. And as a matter of fact, her picture that she, once she showed herself, one of the photos that she used, it was actually shown on Willie Vanilli? She appeared with that avatar. And she was asking Willie questions. She was asking lots of questions. Let's see. He was talking about... Is he talking about Jaguar? Hang on. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, I felt like I was going to sneeze. But she was trolling on that channel. Oh, yes. I think it was about Jaguar Right. Mm-hmm. And remember when Sam Odom, Jaguar Wright's ex-husband, called in to Willie's, or however he got in, you know, came live, and yeah, he was in the chat. hmm she was asking questions, then gathering information. Yes, she was. That's true. Um, I'm not sure if she was max student on that one. I'd have to go through my videos. But I have multiple avatars of her trolling. hmm And she finally admitted she was a troll. Yeah. It's like, okay, so I was a troll. So what? So what of it? Yeah. In other words, once you're caught, it's like, okay, yep, I'm caught. I'm a troll. Next. hmm But all of that is true. I also think, and I believe I have a receipt for it, that that channel was created and given to her. hmm I believe that's true. I think I could confirm it. Or I will say there's definitely something to it. So that's true. I believe that's true. There was a channel that was started in October. Was it October? There's two channels. There's a channel that Aurora Monroe channel, who is the Tammy picture, that was created in late 2020. Also, a impersonation Nosy Ho Live channel was created late 2020. So that's two. Those are two troll channels that belong to. It's one of two people. So that means that person was around late 2020. Yeah. There were several people targeting Nosy Ho Live before her classes, before she had announced, those classes in January, I think it was late December, January. There were people targeting her. Yeah. And a couple of those people that were targeting her were definitely part of the party line. I don't know why I feel like I want to just kind of just tell you guys some stuff. It's because, I'm sitting on these receipts. So maybe there was something to another group of maybe people, women who were jealous of Nosy Ho Life, her cam course or whatever, what she was doing. and her sudden, you know, takeoff that she had, especially after she could, said what she had to say to Tasha K. That was, I think that was, I know it was in 2020. I can't tell you if it was October or November, but it was right around that time. Okay. And I took note of that because I made a clip. I made a clip from that, when Tasha K called into Nosy Whole Live show, when Nosy Whole Live had Jaguar Wright on her panel. Jaguar Wright and her husband, then husband, Goomba? Yeah. And let me think. Yeah, I remember that part. People were shocked on why Tasha didn't argue with Nosy. Maybe. They were certainly like kind of stunned, like, when Nosy Whole Life just like, yeah, like, oh, okay. All right, ma'am. I'll listen. That's kind of how it went. Yeah. And then they had an exchange, and that was it. Mm-hmm. But it was Nosy Whole Life's platform. So maybe that would answer the question. Yeah. Like, you're going to respect me if you come over here on this platform. That was kind of, Nosy Whole Life used more colorful language. Yeah, she was polite. She was polite to Nosy. She was. Yeah, I think it kind of shocked everybody. But I didn't know a lot about, all of that. But I do remember it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But at that time, Tasha K wasn't as big as she is, not even by comparison to what she is now. Yeah. In this sector, she was big, but she was more, let's just say, more visible in the sector, if we can say that. Maybe. I mean, she was doing her gossip and all of that. She was doing that. Yeah, I remember. And that was the story at the time. It was Jaguar Wright. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what brought her to the platform? Yeah, because Tasha K hadn't released Surviving Jaguar Wright until, when was that? Like January? She had talked about it. It was in the works, in the making. Mm-hmm. And Jaguar Wright was like, if you release that video, yeah. And she did. Interviewed her family. Yeah. And that was kind of it was groundbreaking. It was. At least for a lot of people. Yeah. And as far as, capturing an interview like that, she interviewed, and it kind of took off from there, really. And that's one of the things I think she's known for too, is getting these interviews. Yeah. Yeah. She's come a long way. Yeah. But then I have noticed every now and then she'll drop down. When I say drop down, she'll show up in a chat or two, or on someone's platform. Yeah. It's I think it's rare now. It used to be more often because she's, I guess busy with her own thing. hmm And of course, it was Storm Monroe. Yeah, yeah. All these folks, and they really, their channels all took off. Yeah, they all became us. Some success. Yeah. She lost Chelsea and Storm. Well, yeah, we remember that. And remember when Jaguar Wright had said that she was going to come after Storm? Yeah. And then Storm Monroe. Is it Monroe? Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah, I think Storm. He made that video, and he let Jaguar Wright know a thing or two. Well, at the time, yeah, I whether or not he reeled everything back, I think later he did. I mean, he has since interviewed her. It took a while for things to smooth over. Yeah, yeah. I don't watch Storm. Haven't watched him in a long time. I can't even tell you when. hmm Yeah, he's in his own sector. Yeah. Yeah, that was good times. I did hear you mention that. It was a time when people could, come to their channel, do their content, and really not have to concern themselves with being struck unless it was, yeah. But now it's so common. Yeah, it's a fixture of this sector, taking people's channels down. Yeah, that doesn't make it fun. Yeah, people could speak their mind. Yeah, they could. And it did change after the mothership landed and showed people what she or was capable of doing. Yeah. And she made an example out of Nosy Live, and from that point on, a lot of people, she struck fear. That's how I would read it. She struck fear on this platform. hmm Yeah. Yeah, because think about it. Anytime you have all these panel members, right, that were on Monica's panel, and folks being called to the carpet and questions like, who are these people? I still can't really get over that. Yeah. So one by one, she, took on different people that were, she said, part of the sham investigation or had anything to do with Miss Tolbert. Mhm. Yeah, she had I guess you could say a score to settle, and it was personal. She said it was personal, and she did say at a certain point in January that she was, what she was there for, she was done. Her job was done. Yeah, everybody remembers that. December 2021, and then come January, she made this big announcement. And I think it was right around the 19th, somewhere leading up to it. And she said she had other things, to do. Yeah, that YouTube was just for that. She accomplished what she had set out to do. And then John Yates said something. And that was the beginning of the end of that. Leaving YouTube. No. And then it was this petition for several months. Cancel John Yates, and it would be her and Black Rabbit that would be on that petition, but didn't hear her. She had a petition, right? Is that true? There's like the battle of the petition. Someone catch me up on that. Was that true, right? And hear her started it first. That's interesting. I do remember that being said, but again, she was eclipsed, right? She was eclipsed, just like she, being hear her, was eclipsed with the whole Jaguar right. And, what was going on with that young lady. We'll just say young girl, Gina. And because hear her had gained so much traction, and she, it was about hear her, she didn't even really try. Remember? She really didn't try. So okay, I'll make a channel, and okay, okay, you guys want me over here, go find your own way. So she did. That was a real story. And she did not deserve the treatment that she received when she went up on that panel, because she simply asked a question. That was in October. Okay, so that would have been end of September, beginning of October. And wasn't it Black Rabbit that send a cash app or something, $5, get her off the stage? And wasn't it was Sunny, right? Y'all catch me up. I think I remember it. And so she got dropped or whatever. And Val chimed in, go find your own channel, go do your own thing. Remember that? Did I get that right? Tell me if I've gotten it right, correct so far. Yeah, $5 gate. Yeah. And then hear her became the target. Then she became the target. And videos were being made about her about tails, about cubs. All of that would culminate um, to the end of December. Okay, so there was a lot of videos being made. Black Rabbit was making videos, and D for Danielle was making videos. There were bookends. Okay, so there were videos on Shrell. There were videos. So Deb was the target. Tails was the target. Hear Her was a target. Cubs was a target. Um, let's see. Well, we know who they leaned on, right? And got her to give up receipts. Nosy Whole Lives, you know, her prime investigator, Mika. hmm Yep. And so, yeah, Mika. hmm And it's because I really think they should I share? Yeah, a mole. You think so? Um, People who were doxxed, and Mika was doxxed big time. She was doxxed big time by both Black Rabbit and D for Danielle. hmm hmm Well, she was part of that, you know, she was part of the sham investigation. And they knew Mika had receipts hmm or knew some things, right? hmm And they wanted that information from Mika. So then they made nice to Mika. hmm But that came with a looming kind of I won't even tell you what it, but you know what I'm getting at. All right. And so they leaned on her, and basically she caved. hmm She caved. And Black Rabbit gave a very weak apology for someone who requires an apology of So Deb. Her apology to Mika was weak. Um, yeah, it was kind of like at the end. Well, it is what it is. Is what. Yeah, that's kind of how it came off. Yeah, because I have the apology. But then she aligned with them. Just like others who were doxxed aligned with her. That part I can never understand. No. That part. I mean, if the way they treated her. But people make nice and yeah. It might be is it because somebody knows something, has something on someone? Or, can control, manipulate, or maybe they just don't want them to go after them. In other words, they've shown them what they can do, and so they bow down. They kiss the ring, because that is what it is, kissing the ring. I'm talking about people who were doxxed or, on the other side, and then they behave like they don't have a choice. And that is true. They attack you until until they need you, or conversely. You're with them until they don't need you. I mean, you see what happened to trees. I'm not taking up for trees, okay? But they threw trees up, under the bus, over the bus, whatever. I'm not taking up for her at all. Because, at all. But that would end. And there are certain people that will be considered to always have loyalty to them, no matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they do. They will always be loyal to them. So if someone even thinks I'm trying to convince someone that I want them to be a part of this, I don't. No. Yeah. That's kind of funny. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. See? All right. I just started talking about that because I saw you over there with magic. Let me just go way back to 2020. So there were people targeting Nosy Whole Life because of the Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. Okay. So think about anyone who was a big fan of Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty or any of that. And you could probably also know why some people were motivated to go after her. Yeah. But we can leave that for another time. Yeah. Email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Speaking of that, let's see, because I've got an early day. I'm good there. Anything else? Last night, one other thing. Yes. So when I said goodbye, I didn't turn off the live. It ran all night long until I woke up. I am glad I did not start opening email or anything. That tells you I was really tired. Yeah. So, gotta catch up. Yeah. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out and join me sometime tomorrow But that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.